Hey, storytelling, Ron. I want to talk about wealth. That's been happening, the shift of wealth and the tariffs and what's going on with Trump's tariffs and all that. And give you my 2 cents and just put, other people have been doing a much better job of explaining it to me, but I'm just going to put my little rant out there because I think that, that's one way of me being, helping out or fighting the good fight when it comes to having our freedoms, having our ability to be Christians and to evangelize. We need a government that's going to support us and give us the security and peace in order to do what we want to do, which is evangelize and plant churches. And that's, my games are all about that, role-playing games. So let's just go over some of the news that's been happening. And I've been kind of chilling lately, but I just want to, some positive things have been happening in my life. So when positive things happen, I kind of get lazy. So that's kind of what I've been chilling and enjoying life. And I'm transitioning. I'm going to focus on Alfred 6 and writing it. I've written like 20 chapters, but it's been sort of broken up, and I finally finished my Kickstarter and waiting for the prints to send out to the backers. But let's get to this. So this is just nice, and I hope this continues. And breaking the Fourth Circuit is on Gateway. The Fourth Circuit delivers crushing blow to left's lawfare, grants emergency stay protecting Elon Musk, Doge, and government efficiency mission from USAID operation. So we can't be surprised. We can't be surprised at what the evil is going to do. And I'm just going to say it. Evil is going to do what evil does. There's no surprise there. Democrats are going to do what Democrats do. And if you're a Democrat, I'm not dogging you. I'm just saying, I'm just going to just say starkly what's going on without clouded lenses. You, as a Democrat, you believe in child sacrifice, so there's no way I can get to you. There's no way, if you believe in abortion and child sacrifice, there's no way I can get to you. So this video is really for Christians and people who just are unsure about what's going on here and just my take on it. So the evil is going to do what evil does, and this is to be expected. What the question is from God is, what is good going to do? What are you and I going to do? In my own little way, I'm doing YouTube channels and doing my role-playing game. I've given up on D&D and Pathfinder and all these RPGs. I've given up that sacred cow because they were very sacred to me. Star Wars RPG was sacred to me. Dungeons and Dragons was sacred to me. Playing those games was sacred to me. Making videos for those games was sacred to me. And I was really enjoying it. And now it's so much deeper what I'm doing and more fun, but very small. I've got a handful of players who understand what it is, but I still have not been able to get a bigger, wider circuit of people. I've got people on my Discord, but not enough are committing to doing a game for themselves, to doing a fellowship of ministry, and it's bumming me out. I don't know. That's why I'm sort of chilling now and going, okay, I need to figure this out. But I've got a dedicated group, and we have a great time being Christians in a role-playing game, full on sci-fi, full on Dark Ages, full on post-apocalyptic, but having a really good time being Christians. Great Commission. The only thing we Christians have to do is the message. Great Commission. That's it. We don't have to do works. We don't have to do anything else. To accept Jesus Christ our Lord and Savior. Once you accept, and let me reword this. Once you accept Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior, because it's within you, God has already ordained it. Once you accept that, you want to do the Great Commission. You don't want to do good works. Good works is going to happen no matter what. But you want to do the Great Commission, which is you want to send out the gospel, send out the message that Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, to everybody, even the evil. Even to evil, you want to do that. We cannot convert evil, God can, but we can subdue evil. We can get it to chill out. And the problem is we're not. We're just going along to get along, and now evil is taking that and they're going along. Doing their evil. We got to rebuke evil. And that is through Jesus Christ, because we cannot. How do you reason with someone who's sacrificing, who's murdering on the unborn? How do you reason with them? I've tried, and I've even tried creation versus evolution. It doesn't work. Not until you get to their sin and you get evil to be subdued by their own sin. I love creation versus evolution. I love that, but the debates I have done with the atheists is ridiculous. Just absurdity is what they go to. I'm just going to say it. One guy, tried to say gorillas are equal to humans, really. Another guy said, well, and I was bringing up the uniqueness of the Japanese honeybee that counters the, killer hornet bees with temperature degrees and vibrations and surrounding the bee, and they know how to kill it. And it's an amazing scientific methodology that they do. The smaller honeybees are defenseless, but then what they do is they surround the bee, the bigger hornet, and they vibrate only to a certain degree, because if they go any higher, they're going to die. So they go to a certain height, and then that kills the hornet, and then they release. So they've been able to survive in Japan against the hornet because they know how to defend themselves. But here, European honeybee doesn't know how to do that. So my point being, I was explaining that to him, like, how can that evolve? How can a little Japanese honeybee know how to do that? And as a team of bees, and he's all, well, there's a guiding force out there. That was his answer. The absurdity of atheism. Okay. Another one, empathy. Oh, well, empathy runs everything. We have empathy. That's all we need. What the frick are you talking about? Okay. Don't get me started. All right. So they're going to be doing this, and I'm just hopeful. I'm just grateful for Elon now. Now, Elon is not a Christian, right? He's not a Christian. I hope, dear Lord, please bring Elon. Please save him, if you please. God's will, obviously, but dear Lord, please save Elon. Please show him. I know he's a sinner, big sinner, absolutely. Kind of like a Solomon, I think. But please bring him to the Lord, bring him to Christ. Maybe through Russell Brand, because I never thought Russell Brand would be Christian, and I feel like he's becoming a really hardcore Christian. I gotta watch that video with him and Jordan Peterson, because I feel like Jordan Peterson is holding back a bit. He's very Christian, I think, but for some reason he's not going to the heart of it himself. He's being very academic. I don't know. I'm cursorily saying this. I don't know. Not that I know that much. Okay. I mean, I think Jordan Peterson is awesome, great too. But anyway, let's move on, because I babble. Okay, must see. Elon Musk confirms widespread voter fraud as millions of non-citizens get access to Social Security, Medicaid, and the ballot box. Millions referred to DHS for illegal voting prosecution. So Democrats are evil, treasonous, deserve to be jailed, and they're lining up the things to go after them. How do I feel about that? I feel, as Ron, I feel vengeful. I want them to go after him. As a Christian, I wanted this all to be exposed into the light. Yes, I do want him to go after them, but do it in a very careful and considerate way, and bring it all out and stuff like that. Bring it out to the light. I still want them to go after them, but I don't want it to be a mob mentality. I don't want to go after their homes, their cars, their businesses. In a sense, I don't mind. I don't mind boycotting, but yeah, I don't want to go out and attack or intimidate them, their children, their homes, at their homes, or start a mob like the left does. The left wants a mob. They want to terrorize. They want to intimidate. They want to come after you. They want terrorism. That's why they love Islam. They do believe in terrorism. The left believes in terrorism, genocide, and slavery. What they don't believe in is war, because war is the answer to genocide, slavery, and terrorism. Because war is an open declaration of stop doing that or we're going to go to war. That's what war is. Genocide is you just attack someone without them knowing, to wipe them out. You go and attack them. You don't try to work it out. War is when you try to work it out and then you go to war if you have to. That's why the left always hates war. They call us warmongers and blah, blah, blah. But they never talk about genocide. They never talk about slavery, and especially in the past with all these other nations. They never talk about terrorism as an actual thing that they hate. Have you noticed that? Okay, so this video is really great. You guys should watch it. I need to watch the whole thing. I've watched bits of it, but I need to watch the whole thing. He's really bringing this out, exposing what the ripoff is. Look at that. They got the numbers here. It was under Biden, I believe it was the third term of Obama. There was a huge treasonous thing happening here. Obama. Biden. Everyone knows now, and they're even admitting on the left that he was senile. He was senile. And so then someone else was doing those auto pens of his name and getting shifting all this wealth and money. They were pushing it everywhere. And how petty they were. They were Social Security, USAID, all of this stuff was a monumental defrauding of Americans and taking the money, cashing it out. Remember, this is not our money. This is the future's money. They're taking the credit, cashing it out as cash, and then putting it into their own stocks and stock market funds and 401ks or whatever the heck they had, millions, shifting it all. And they were paying each other off, the Democrats and a couple of Republicans. And this is what Elon has said. He's seen that all of these Democrats in DC were taking millions, giving a few to the Republicans to quiet them that are in there, and all of their employees were getting huge bonuses, huge payouts. All of this money, which is fake, it's all digital and fake, because it's all credit that we now owe to banks in China, and it's amazing. This corruption was huge, and if we don't arrest people, this is gonna, when the next time the Democrats swindle their way again into power, they will destroy America, because they can get away with it. If they get away now, think about what they're going to happen when they get in power again. And here's the sad thing: many Americans are totally cool with that, destroying America, but because they're the wicked. We have plenty of wicked. We'll always have the wicked. We'll always have evil. We'll always have child sacrificers. And God is telling us that. He's testing us. He's challenging us. He's pushing us. He wants to see what we do as good, as the chosen. And we have to fight back. We have to rebuke evil openly, and in our games. I'm contentious in the RPG world. I know that, but I'm going to stay contentious. Cowards is what we have. Christians who are in the Christian RPG world, they're cowards. You guys are cowards. I'm just going to come out and say it. I have to, because I don't have anything to lose. So I am in a safe place. So I will admit that I'm a coward in that sense. But I've given up all of my D&D, all of everything. I've given up everything and risking everything, because I know how sacred D&D and Pathfinder and all these games are to Christian RPGers. I know how sacred it is, and it's pathetic. And I've got close people, that I know who are very in love with them and not willing and give homage to Christ, but they're not actually taking the cross up. They're not taking the cross up. They're the rich guy who says, "Oh, I gotta go. I'll be right back." Christ says, "Give up everything, take your cross and follow me," or whatever he says. Give up everything and follow me. I'll be right back. I gotta go do something. I gotta go take care of a funeral. And when he said to the rich guy, the young rich guy, who's good, "Give up all your wealth and come follow me." They're not gonna do it. They got to get. They're addicted to their D&D stuff. All right. I just got to keep going. Okay, so this woman, she's a Jew, so I love Jews. This woman is pretty cool. I've never heard of her before. She's a Democrat. Well, probably that's why. Batya Ungar Sargon describes Trump's tariff program that is saving the U.S. working class. She was on Piers Morgan, and then she was on Bill Maher is where I first taught, and through conservative sites like this one, or my main two is not to be in the Gateway Pundit. Those are my main two I go to. Then Breitbart News. I have pro-Trump news, which is kind of like a Drudge Report, kind of, but just totally pro-Trump. And you're like, well, why do I only see one side? Well, I was a Democrat for up until I was like 35 or something. So I know exactly what Democrats are. I know exactly what they're saying. They want to sacrifice the unborn. They want to murder babies. I already know where they're going. So what she says here, and I'm gonna delve even deeper to what she says here. And she's awesome. She's really good. What I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class. Deaths of despair, probably depths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. So this is happening everywhere, and yet people are complaining about Trump or tariffs. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic. I'm not qualified to be a pastor. I'm ranked too rancorous. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things like that country. I should just let her do this, but anyway, stop allowing fentanyl to murder 100,000 Americans every year, and that Mexico do its part. Okay, I should let her say it, but let me just go through this quickly. Okay. Suddenly, everybody is sitting around going, "Oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them." We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at zero. Fentanyl is at record lows for the last 10 years. We have already seen 1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 21st. So they've already worked. Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing for the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there's a president who's working for them. So the Wall Street is the deep state. And the deep state is this. Samantha Powers. So Samantha Powers disgusts me. And here, let me just show the picture of her. She's just such a wonderful woman. No, she's a thief, is what she is. So during the Biden years, me and my family lost wealth. We were atrophying. We were losing wealth in our multi-millions. We were losing and shrinking, and it was shrinking. And because we live out in the real world doing things, and I was going to go get a job. Thankfully, my wife has, got something, so we're doing okay. But my background is computer animation, but and I was in the computer animation industry. I had got a film. I created my own film. I got it into the American film market. I had what's it called? I had 2 sales agents each year, through the series of it. The 2008 Bush mortgage crash was what kind of screwed me from starting a production company, because I was at that point where the sales agent was telling me I was going to start. Anyway, so then I was really independent at the time, struggling, but my wife was doing good. And then I gave it all up to homeschool my daughters. So I did that for the last 10 or 12 years or whatever, and homeschooled my daughters. So I took care of them and wrote some books and, on my off time. So that's what I've been doing. So I don't work like a real job. I homeschooled my daughters. Then I started sort of helping them, and through Christianity, I just started wanting to do things for Christ. Blah, blah, blah. So, but I was going to go back and get a job, and I was going to get a like a $30K job here in LA somewhere, or $40K. I was looking at I wanted to work at Italy, and just work as a cheesemonger or whatever, maybe butcher shop. I was going to do something remedial, something, and I was about ready to do it. And then, she finally got her thing going, and so I don't have to, but we'll be fine. But anyway, Samantha Powers, before she was the former head of USAID, has seen her wealth increase significantly, rising from 6.7 million to over 30 million. Her salary was 180,000. So, in 4 years, she got from 6 million to 30 million. Now, I know her husband, making 840,000 salary from Harvard. Wow. Talk about 840,000 to be what the heck is his job? Let me pause and I'm gonna look this up. What the heck? Anyway, his job is, Harvard Law School, professor of Harvard. He's founder and director. Okay, so whatever, but he's making a lot of money. Which, okay, fine, whatever. But that's a lot of money. 140,000. Wow. Okay. But they went from 6 million to 30 million in 4 years. Gee, I wonder how that happened. And remember, it's not just her at USAID. It's all of her minions are getting money too. She's paying everyone off, and they're all Democrats. They're all getting this wealth. And where's that wealth coming from? From us, from you and me, from me and my wife and our family's shrinkage, our taxes, from everyone. So from all of us across America, our wealth is shrinking as they're making all this money in DC through the Democrats, and people are willingly fighting for that. All these people, these mobs, the Antifa, all the people attacking Tesla, this is what they worship. They worship this, and they worship the sacrifice of the unborn, and they will not see the truth. And the only thing you can do with them is subdue them with the truth, with constantly rebuking this sin. You can't do it through reasoning or logic. You can't try to understand them. I mean, the only thing you can understand is Romans 1:18-32. They are reprobate. They are murderous. They are liars and deceivers and slanderers, and that's it. I'm a Calvinist or whatever, Reformed Baptist. I don't know what the heck, whatever. I believe God made good people and evil people. Now you can't. Now the game of life is you don't know who's good and who's evil, and God is mixing us all together, and we got to just go through it godly as Christ-like, and be good and loving to all, including the enemy. Jesus said, love the enemy. So even the wicked, he says, love. So we have to love everyone, and God loves everyone, including the wicked, including who he created. He does, because his love is beyond ours. That's for sure. I am not here to say, I'm judging who's good and who's evil, but I'm using logic. Like, that person is definitely not savable. But I treat them exactly the same way I treat the good. I rebuke the sin, tell them, reveal their sin to them, and that the only way is through Jesus Christ, or, that kind of thing. That's it. So for me as a Calvinist, you're like, oh, why are you, you're such a I don't know, whatever, superior, chosen good. I treat everyone exactly the same. So there's no superiority here. And I am not the judge, or the God is vengeance, not me, right? I am just the messenger about the truth. And I have to give the truth to everybody, that Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior. Okay. I want to go to explaining then what exactly Samantha Powers. I consider her to be evil. Now, is she full on guilty? Am I saying she's no? But I'm just looking logically at this, and I don't think that she can go from 6 million to 30 million while America was starving and atrophying during Biden, during all this inflation, including her Cass Sunstein. I almost question their marriage. I think they're probably just posing. But there I am. But I'm going off on my own little tangent there. So what I want to talk about then, about the tariffs, is this guy here. It's kind of a weird shot of him. This guy, this guy's fine. I do like their videos. I think this guy is a fair-minded guy in the sense of, he's not Christian, but they talk about the role-playing game business, and he talks about it, and he knows quite a bit about it, and so it's interesting. I listen to him once in a while, and obviously he's a Pathfinder, and Pathfinder's ridiculous. But he's talking about the tariffs here and how all the prices are going to go up now on printing. And I'm going to, I'm always contentious. So I'm going to say this. I don't care. I don't care about his problems about this and everyone else's problems in the RPG industry about it. I don't care, because it's about time. Because he's got the reason see, look behind him. Every RPG dude has this wall of cheap books from China. Cheap books from China, and there's nothing, and they say there's nothing here in America to do this. Well, that's because these are cheap books from China. And all of the wealth is going to China. Now, to me, China, whatever, other countries. And we are destroying our ability to manufacture and do anything here in America. We're destroying the jobs. We're destroying the future of people, the working class here in America. The rich elite are getting their stuff. It was great. She even mentions it too. You need to follow her on Facebook, but she mentions even more about how the America's rich elite are owning everything now through real estate and through finance and wiping out the middle class, so that we're all slaves to that. And the problem, and I'm not trying to attack this guy personally. I think he's informative, but we are living in this sort of luxuriant off slavery printing industry in China. That's what we're doing. The RPG culture is specifically doing that. It is living off of the slavery of people in China for our books, and I'm part of it. So I got it too. I got a bunch of books here that are all printed in China. Or it's not all of them, but some of them are. A lot of them are. And then although some are printed in I think Europe, Belgium, or whatever. But anyway. So he's talking about how that's all going to go up in prices, and the tariffs are going to do that. Now, this guy, he was good. He didn't attack Trump in this. He's just telling the facts of it all. So it's a good little thing. But everyone in the post is like, oh Trump, oh Trump, oh Trump. No, we're destroying America, and that's what I'm going to go to here. So we're destroying America because of our cheap, stupid addiction, our addiction to cheap crap. And we're destroying America. We're not only destroying the businesses in America, we're destroying our ability to be independent of a slave country. Democrats have been enabling this, and Republicans have been falling in line. That's the same with illegal immigrants. Why do Republicans hire illegal immigrants? Because they have to fall in line, because they have no other choice. They can't run their businesses here in America when Democrats continually bring on illegals, which is a slave class, and the Republicans immediately will lose their business. And there's no Republicans in the political world that are helping them, to because their business is going to die quickly. So they too got to underbid and pick out slaves to do their work. So we have been doing slavery now. In America, it hasn't ended because the illegals are slaves. They are slaves. And that's what frustrates me, that Republicans don't bring out truthfully and honestly. The illegal immigrants that are used as nannies, house cleaners, gardeners, whatever, are slaves. I have a gardener, and I do pay him, and I'm assuming he's an American because we have talked about the elections, and he's voting, so I'm assuming he's American. I don't know. He's Hispanic, but his English is really good. So, but I've had him for 30 years, and I've always given him raises and bonuses every Christmas. So I don't know if anyone wants to confirm that for me. That's fine by me. I wish there was confirmation in Africa, around this area. And by the way, I even hired a private company to do gardening, and they brought in guys that couldn't even speak English. So I said, I'm going to go back to the guy I have. So I'm bringing that up. I don't know if he's American or not, but I'm assuming he is because of. I know his brother is not because his brother came and he was not a citizen, and I talked to him because he came in and helped him for a while there for a couple of years, but not anymore. But so, and I'm not going to give out his name because it's his own private life. But it's a slave class. If they're all like that, because we don't have to pay taxes on it, we don't have to do unemployment insurance, we don't have to do health insurance, and whatever else. Contractors, yeah. And if you're a contractor, that's fine, whatever. But it's a slave class, and I want to know what we can, what we're going to do about it. So we are allowing it. We are doing this monumental shift of money to China. Our industries, vitamin C is only made in China. What I heard, this is something I don't know if it's true anymore, but that was one of the headlines I heard. Vitamin C. So imagine if we go to war with China or whatever, we're not going to have vitamin C. We're not going to have vitamins. We're not going to have our medication. We're not going to have hospital supplies. We're not going to have everything you order on Amazon. It's going to be gone. So how does that make us a free country, a free market country? It's not. And when they say we're a free market, that's total hogwash, because none of these other countries are free markets. So yet we're free markets with a slave country of communists, with communist slaves. That's not free market. How about free market with a country who has freedom of speech, individual rights to life, liberty, happiness, pursuit of happiness? We don't have that. So that's annoying to me. Like with Rand Paul. Rand Paul was fighting against these tariffs because he believes in free market. That's such hogwash. Why does he? I don't understand. Free market with who? No one is reciprocating a free market with us. A free market is not one way, where we give them a free market and then they rip us off. That is not free market. So I'm really ticked off at that kind of play here. So, all right, I'm moving to this guy, Peter Santinello. Really love his videos. And this one, he's just explaining. Not that we need to see this video, but his video got removed, but he did it himself. But he's talking about Burlington, Vermont, where he grew up, and I'm just see if there's a couple images here. I don't know why I'm showing this video, because he has a bunch of videos. But where is it? There's one shot here where he goes into this parking. No, it's about all these small towns he goes to, and he goes to other places, and this is all drug taking right here. Look at this building. There's a church. These buildings are of the past, where we had strong tariffs. Things were more expensive, but things were bought here and made here in America. And we had buildings being erected like this, and they were flourishing with people, with activity. Today, these things are in ruins or decay. They don't build like this anymore. They build shanties things, if they even build at all, because everything is boarded up across these small towns. And he has, so this video, she's working at this whatever, 7-Eleven or Pickwick or whatever. And she's saying, She gets here. She got there 7 a.m, and they are immediately, the drug homeless people are immediately coming in and stealing things, and she is being beaten down. That is the reason. Thou shalt not steal is a godly. It shows us a God who cares about us. That's one of his 10 commandments. Thou shalt not steal. When the Democrats have allowed thievery to go on across America, they come in here and steal stuff, and she has no recourse. She calls the police. They can't do anything, right? Whatever. She's being beaten down. Her soul is being beaten down, and this is just a job for her. But she's being beaten down every day because of this. So she's probably, at some point, she's going to give up and become one of them. That's what thou shalt not steal is all about. When you steal from people, the rest of the people get shattered because they can't have a peaceful life to build a family. These homeless people are going to come into their homes and steal. They're going to steal their homes. They're going to steal, their happiness, their joy. The stealing doesn't just stop at the Pickwick or the 7-Eleven. The stealing grows and continues, and it's very sad to see her getting a job, trying to do this, and here she is like, I can't handle this. I can see that it's breaking her down, and it's very sad. And it's across America, and he's out there. They're everywhere. Look at the streets are all breaking down, unkept. The small towns are empty. I have to kind of. He does a lot of talking and walking with people. These are all fentanyl camps, homeless fentanyl camps. But they do a lot of videos where he's looking at the buildings, and they're all broken down, empty. This is all like a drug rehab place. I wish I had other videos, but look, so these are all like empty towns across America that used to have factories and warehouses, workplaces, and he's going across them and looking at them, and they're just, every one of them, I swear, I go to them and it's like, they did, this used to be this used to be that, everyone's gone, and it's stuff that you do not see on the media. They're not going to show all this, all the emptiness and stuff. Americans are surviving, but these Americans don't buy. These Americans here, that are the vast majority, are not sitting here with all. He lives in Manhattan, by the way, and he works for those deep state people, making websites for deep state. And then he does this on the side or something. But they don't have this, right? They don't have his fancy little get up here with these cheap Chinese prints, because these guys would be the ones printing those books if they were here in America, but they're not. So the printing presses are gone. The car manufacturings are gone. The steel workers are gone. Everything is gone across this middle America. These people are all gone, all gutted. But he's complaining, but he's not directing his ire at anyone, but I think it's inferred. And everyone here, though, in the comments is complaining. They're complaining about Trump. They're complaining about this. It's unfair that they got to pay an extra $10 or $20 per book, or probably extra $5 per book. And they might just have to only have, I don't know, 2/3 of these shelves, not all these shelves of these role-playing games they'll never play. These role-playing games they will never read through, never play. They're complaining now, these RPG people, that they're just not going to be able to have enough on their wall of hoarding, So that's my aggro, angry, contentious take on this. The tariffs are about Trump answering this emptiness of America that's being gutted. And there's still, thankfully, Christians enjoy, but there's a lot of drugs. I remember watching the one that got around where the kid was talking about the Romans in the Teutoburg Forest attack. But I watched that one, and it was and they were talking about how that all the kids were on drugs. There was no future. Look, this is like an empty warehouse back here. This video here, you can see that used to be a business, and it's just gutted and empty. It's there's just shells of places. In the Vermont one that his hometown, he was walking around the street and it was just empty. It's empty. The place that used to be so alive. In Santa Monica, the promenade down here is just gutted and empty. It's incredible because it used to be this crowded place like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, It used to be this crowded place you'd go to with restaurants, outdoor promenade, and now it is empty and gutted and creepy. And the Santa Monica government, the Democrats, are just fine with that. They're just fine with that. Beverly Hills is getting that way slowly. There's right on the outsides of the Beverly Hills, the fancy streets and stuff, and within too, there's empty stores because there's nothing happening. I understand Amazon and stuff like that's all coming online, but all of the manufacturing is being taken out of America, and so everyone is just ordering. All the rich are ordering online or going to their elite little stores, but that's it. There's nothing else out there, and the hemorrhaging is incredible. Trump is trying to stop that. We're going to have to pay a few more dollars. Like, oh, we can't afford it. You can afford this, and I know a lot of people are affording this. Every RPG person that's complaining down here about the tariffs, trust me, they have a wall of these books that they don't read. They have, I bet you every one of them. The problem is that we don't have, one other thing I wanted to bring up here. Here is a Morris Publishing. It's a self-publishing your books, and I've used them. I even try to use a local person for my Kickstarters. I used them for one Kickstarter. The problem with me is that I just kept messing up. I'm not very professional. So I would never get it right. I would have to see the book over and over 5 times before I got it right. And so I have found this expensive because you have to order, a certain amount. But anyway, I think this is like a Christian company. I don't know. They don't like say it, but a lot of the things they do are church-based publishing and books and stuff. And you can publish, your church-based stuff here. They show it on your, they show a lot of, examples, see like Christian stuff and what they're doing. My point being is that there are publishing companies here in America, but nobody uses them except, these small little Christian, things. And the way I found this was through comic books, a Christian comic book. These guys I went to this tiny little Christian Comic-Con kind of place, and I was doing an RPG thing there. But so these guys had these comics, and I bought a couple, and and on the back it had this is who they use for their publishing, and it was fine. The quality of it was fine, and I even I have some here somewhere. Anyway, where I published my books, but then again, I've gone on to so many iterations of published books that it's becoming too costly for me to do until I finally get my whatever. My point being, there's so few of these, and we don't here in America, but it's because they're using slave labor, and so we're hemorrhaging ourselves. We're hemorrhaging our industries. We're destroying America so that we can have this cheap, and I'm not attacking him, but it's all of us, including me. We can have these cheap wall of books that we don't do anything with, and I'm saying, and I'm just going to say, stop it, stop. We have to bring the money. We have to bring the industries back to America. We have to. We're not going to survive. The Samantha Powers of the world are going to take over and rip us all off again. And this Cass Sunstein, Harvard gets millions and millions from the government, right? They're all full Democrat. Harvard is full on Democrat. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a fraud, defrauding America. He's making millions. Everyone there at Harvard is making millions. They're defrauding America. Obama and Biden. It's not really a Biden. Whoever auto pens his executive orders, millions are being funneled to these places. They're taking our money. It's the Samantha Powers. They're siphoning off this and getting rich off of it, going from $6 million to $30 million in 4 years, on a government salary of $180,000. Yes, I get maybe her husband is doing it too, but Harvard, right? Millions from the government. They don't even have to compete. They just the Christians made us Harvard spectacular, and now the left has taken over Harvard and is banking on it and banking on it through Democrats in the government, making millions, theft of all of us while we are hemorrhaging. And I'm doing pretty well. but I showed you the videos of that guy, Joe Centinelli or whatever, and how America is not doing well at all. It's being raped, pillaged, and plundered by the Democrats, and by Republicans who are weak-kneed and follow through with it as well. And and I live a luxuriant life of whatever, but I'm just going to call it out on myself and on everyone else, and not to dog this guy or that guy, but I'm dogging all of us because this is what's happening, and we have to do tariffs. We have to support Trump. Finally, the reason they don't hate Trump because he's Trump, they hate Trump because he's doing what needs to be done. And thankfully, hopefully, he is influencing a lot of other people to do as well. And I hope that Musk and JD Vance and all of them are showing the young men of America, and I hope this is the case, what they got to fight for and the honesty they need in the government, so that they don't have any Samantha Powers. Ugh. Her face just disgusts me in the sense of that wealth. USAID it's supposed to be helping countries. It's supposed to be a peace organization, and it's just a grift. It's a grift over peace and helping people in the world. They're grifting over that. They sacrifice the unborn. What then is they murder babies. What then is their limit? That's why I don't want to argue with Democrats at all. I have no time for it. You murder babies. There's nothing to argue about here. You're murdering babies, and you're going to go before God with that. I can't stop you because I'm the messenger. Only God can stop you. So, what can we? Well, so thankfully, I do not have to go out and attack the Democrats. I don't have to go out and attack their cars. I don't have to go out and attack anything. The only thing Christ wants me to do is this. The message. That's all we Christians have to do. And that's why in my games, I want us to do it. I want us to do a message over and over and over. Christ is king. We have to get everyone to admit their sins or be subdued by the sin, knowing that what they're doing is a sin, and that the only way is through accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So, and that's the only way. That's really it. That's all we have to do as Christians. So, feel good about yourself as a Christian if you're working at that in some way or supporting your church in some way. But also, you should be doing it in the RPGs. I'm assuming whoever's watching this, if you've even gone this far, it's all about your RPGs. And check out my games. They're on Amazon. The final version is there as hardbound. The PDFs of these, the final version is on my website. The Dark Ages one is free. I've got videos on, and feel free to ask me questions. I got videos on how to do Foundry. If you do it online. Please, I wish some more people would do this for YouTube, or what's the other one? Twitch. And I also have books on Amazon. My Alfred books. Here, I'm going to do this real quick. Just if you've gotten this far, then you must be semi interested in what I'm doing. So there's now these are kind of very Dungeons and Dragons-y books here. My Conquest of the Evermire, which is fine. They tie in with the Alfred series I have here, which is my big sort of. They're adult books, by the way. They're for kids. Kids can read them, but adults can read them too. I believe. I wrote it really for me, but for my daughter, and then now it's here. So Night of the Dead is definitely only for dads. Well, moms can read it too, but adults. Night of the Dead is awesome. Zombie apocalypse here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, and the guy happens to have medieval armor. I don't know anyone like that. Then here's my role-playing games. I've got the Dark Ages one here. They're all hardcover because I really like the hardcover. This is the hardcover, and I'm so professional here. This is my hardcover. Oh yeah, I really, and it's a fairly simple game system with one tricky dice mechanic, but once you get it, you don't have to look at the rules anymore. Once you understand the dice mechanics, which is very simple, you can just play the game. I mean, I the only thing I look at when we play the game, generally speaking, is the fumble table, because I can't remember 1 through 6. It's so funny. I gotta just print that out, and put it here. That's all I need. I don't need to look at any other charts. But it's totally fits with OSRs or D&D or whatever. Okay. So, you don't see the same thing I'm seeing here. Okay, so I've got a Dark Ages. I got a Apostles of the Epoch and Christians in Space, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic. This is the campaign for the Dark Ages, and this is the campaign for the Christian Space. And the post-apocalyptic one, you kind of, I'll probably make a campaign or adventure booklets or whatever. But you don't need a campaign, because it's a hex crawl where you kind of randomly roll the hexes around. The GM does and preps it that way, and it's really fun. I have no players. I mean, I have 5 players that are really good, but other than that, no one else is playing this game. Oh, there's one guy I think on my Discord who plays with his family, and he said it's been great. So I appreciate him. Thank you so much for that. But that's it. I think in the world, I don't have anyone else playing this, but I'm going to keep going because I love the Lord. And these are about being evangelizing in the game. When you're an apostle in the apocalyptic world, you're going out evangelizing to all the survivors. In Christian Space, you're going out evangelizing to all the planets and all the all the empire and atheist worlds. And yes, the biblical adherent, earth-based, future timeline kind of thing, but earth-based. And all the aliens in Christian Space are genetically modified humans. So dogmen, sharkmen, whatever, totally makes sense. Star Wars, Star Trek do not make sense at all. Right? All the bipedal, carbon-based aliens, did they all really evolve on their own planets separately? Nah. So just a great, we had a really great session last night. All they did was engineering, upgrading engineering stuff. And I included almost everything that you could want to do in the game. And there's no level limits. You don't hit 10th level and you're done. That's it. You got to start a new thing or whatever. There's no level limits in this game. You can keep going, because we Christians, we like life. We believe in life. We don't believe in the funneling of gauntlet of 0 level characters and having them all die off for our entertainment, and then we get 1 or 2, and then we stop at 10th level and then start a new character or whatever. I mean, your characters can die, and yeah, you can always start a new character or different setting or whatever. Anyway, I love this. I want you to love it, or I hope that you check it out and really put some effort into creating your own fellowship and turn it into a ministry. And I don't need the money, but I'm told as a Christian I should sell my stuff, right? I should sell it, not just do it for free. So that's what I'm doing, and I like selling it. I like when I get a few ducats. It's a nice, encouraging thing. And I personally like to pay for stuff. I like to here's what I notice: when I pay for stuff, I value it. When I get stuff for free, because I used to do that a lot, all the pirating stuff, I never did anything with it. Everyone in our gaming industry, when I was in the gaming industry, we all used to pirate all the different softwares. But I noticed people used to brag about all this software they got, but I noticed they never did anything with it. They never did anything with it. So anyway, in the game of life, everybody, in the game of life, roll holy dice. Rolling holy dice is doing the commission, evangelizing, and then church planting, or supporting your church to church plant. That's it. That's really all we have to do. We don't have to convert anybody. We don't have to attack anybody. We got to tell them the message. They're sinners, and and get it, and then get attacked. But we don't have to do any attacking. Anyway, all right. Game of life. Roll holy dice.